everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another day. So today we've got a breakdown first job this morning in Barnsley for a truck with an oil leak. So we're going to head straight there, first job this morning. So here we are at Barnsley. Just coming to security now. Get past all these trucks. Oil leak? Yes, mate.
As you go through, mate, just park up here.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Lovely, thank you. So I've had a quick look at this truck with the oil leak already. There is a fair amount of oil underneath. We'll go have a nosy now. So we'll get under here. So as you can see already, there's little drops of oil on the floor, all down here as well. But if we look, there's just oil everywhere, literally everywhere. This is the second axle. Yeah, so that is all oil everywhere on here, all up the back here. If I spin round, back of the gearbox, all there, look, you can see it's a little drop there, oil. So it's all over the rear, all over the second axle, all up the bottom of the gearbox. But as you can see, it is literally just on the bottom. It's dry on this side here. So then we keep following it back. Obviously all over the bottom of the gearbox. And then there's just a little bit here on the bottom of the engine. So that's your oil sump there. It's only plastic. So we've got oil all up the bottom of the engine, not any of the sides. It's obviously been blown all the way back while it's been going down the road. So as it's been driving, the wind's just been catching all the oil and spraying it all up the back, everywhere. But it's all coming from the breather pipe, the engine breather. As you can see there, residue all around this. See, what happened, well, what's probably caused this is the crankcase ventilation filter. Basically that just catches all the oil particles from the air that's getting pressurized inside the engine. Obviously every engine has small amounts of air that seeps past the pistons, and anywhere where there's like a seal or a ring or anything like that, small amounts of air get past. And if you don't have a breather pipe, obviously the pressure just builds up inside your engine. It can cause serious damage. So you have a breather pipe to let the pressure release, but obviously we're getting oil come out. So that means that it's pressurizing the block, pressurizing the oil, and the oil's getting forced out of the breather pipe. It can have small amounts of oil. When the crankcase ventilation filter fails, you'll get small amounts of oil, but what we can see is everything that's shiny that you can see is oil everywhere, absolutely everywhere. So it's quite possibly we might have an issue with the air compressor. We could quite possibly have an issue with one or some of the piston rings. You know, anything that's sort of sealed from air to oil, we could have a seep or we could have a leak past it. Yeah, so first things first, we're gonna put a new crankcase ventilation filter on it, see if that rectifies. I'm not getting absolutely loads of pressure coming down the breather pipe, so I don't think it's going to be the compressor being that bad. I've had these before where it's obviously I've just had it sat running, and you can see smoke coming out of the breather. You can see droplets of oil constantly just dropping every, I don't know, 30 seconds or a minute. And then if you put your hand over it, you can feel the pressure building up quite severely. And you release your hand and it's like all the pressure releasing past your hand. So that was a bad one. This one's not so bad. I've put my hand over the breather and it's building up a small amount of pressure, but not loads. So I reckon we should be alright just fitting a crankcase ventilation filter on this. Definitely before we start tearing anything down, that is the first step really, see if it rectifies. If it was building up loads of pressure like the other one I had a look at a while back, and it was chugging out of the breather and it was building up a serious amount of pressure and leaking constantly, I think we'd have more of a serious issue. But I've had this running for like 10 minutes while I've been having a look at everything, and I didn't see one drop of oil come out of that breather pipe. Unless it's just when it's under severe load, but I'm not going to know really, because I can't sit underneath it while it's pulling something, can I? So, crankcase ventilation filter first. Yeah, it won't be getting done today. I've come all the way to Barnsley, then we've got to go to Doncaster, then back to Featherstone. So I doubt I'll have time to come back here today now, but I'll have plenty of time tomorrow. 1st of May. Bank holiday weekend. Bloody get in. So I've just wrote, assessed, found oil leaking from engine breather pipe, possible crankcase filter blocked as pressure not building severely on breather pipe. Need to replace CCV filter and reassess. I think that is fairsies. Oh, lovely, that's great. I'll probably collect it in the morning, to be honest, buddy. Right, nice one, cheers, mate. Bye bye bye. Cool. So that's been authorised. The part's ready to collect. But as I say, I don't think, well, I'm definitely not going to have time to come back here today. Hey buddy, come back again, mate. Have you got keys for that truck? Spot on. Cheers, buddy. Right, so we are back at the oil leak job from yesterday. Obviously the one where the oil breather was leaking a fair amount of oil. I've been to DAF this morning, collected a crankcase ventilator filter. So, just one of these that we're going to be replacing today. Obviously it's just a little filter that sits inside the crankcase ventilation unit. So we're going to replace that today. Just double checking that there's nothing that's going to hit the windscreen, because you don't know, I mean, although we were only here yesterday and it's not moved, you don't know who's been messing with it. Lovely, cheers buddy. Bye bye. Constant bloody sales calls drives me up the wall. So, squeeze in. Obviously, this is your engine. Right down here, this bit here, is your crankcase ventilator, and inside that, there's the filter that we need to replace. So, from the looks of it, it's going to have to be fully removed to get the filter replaced. I'm going to have to remove the full unit, it looks like. That's fine. Right. So we're going to start off first by removing all of these electrical plugs from the ECU. And then hopefully we can move all of these out of the way then. Because we need to be right under there. First one. We've got these look like T30s, which are holding the cables in place. So we're going to have to whip them off. Yep. find somewhere safe. All them screws. Don't lose any. That's not the feet there. Come on. Cow. It'd help if I could see the frigging thing. Oh, there we go. I've got an angle here. Go. Right, now all these big electrical plugs can all be removed. So you pull that round and it just pulls itself off like that. Like that. There we go. Right. I've got a little bit of oil leaking out of that. So I've just popped a drain pan underneath because it is just leaking slightly. So that oil filler pipe's just split and it ain't good. There's just not a right lot of room in here. Get my hands in. Right, that's off of there.
You're still doing the other one, aren't you?
I'm on with the the crankcase ventilator filter.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm on with that now, mate.
Excellent. Cheers, goodbye.
Cheers, Les.
Right,
Thanks, mate. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Everybody wants shit doing. Quick time in this industry. Nobody wants to wait. Because time is money. There we go. Come on. She's coming. Ah, my finger. Righty. I think we can start whipping some bolts out of this now. I think we'll give me ratchet another go, see if this will get them out. Right, I need to be careful with this because it's going to trap my ratchet. Oh, that's come really loose already, that's good. Oh, how'd you get that one out of there? It's right tucked at the back, that. I don't know if these are going to want to go in a certain way as well. See if it's the same size. Yeah. I remember last time I did one of these jobs, I didn't have this electric ratchet with me and it were a bit of a ball ache, to be honest. This is going quite nicely so far. I think there's just one bolt left holding it on now. And I can't see anymore, so I'm guessing it's underneath. Here. Yeah, there it is. I see it. Right, that's loose now, I believe. I think we're going to have to go out, down somehow. It's getting stuck. Twist it. Pivot, pivot. You've got to give it a little twist as you're doing it. So, here we go, a crankcase ventilator unit. Obviously this one is your main oil feed in, because that's your oil filler pipe, what I've split by accident. Because these just go brittle, these. And obviously that's right on the bend, so all I did was bend it up a little bit and it just snapped straight away. I don't even know if you can see that. Yeah, so, as you can see down there, but that is where your crankcase ventilator sits on your engine. Obviously that's what sits against your engine there. Yeah, that's where your crankcase ventilator sits, up against your engine. And this here, so that's just a rubber O-ring, rubber seal. So that bit sits against your engine there. Right, so this is our crankcase ventilator unit. This is our new filter that we're going to have to fit. Obviously that'll just sit in there like that. We've got some new seals that we're going to fit as well. Obviously we've got the square one for in here, and then I'm guessing in top I'll have an O-ring as well, that big O-ring that'll sit on top. So let's open this sucker up. They look like 8mm. Yep. Don't want to go too hard on these. They're only little. Four bolts. Get a little mini pry bar just to give that a tickle, I think. Just in there. There. Perfect little spot for it there. There we go. Yeah, work it round. There we go. So, as we can see here, that is your filter there. And it's different. It's not the same. Fuck a duck, mate. Bollocks. What? It might be that it's a superseded part. Basically, it might be that the DAF have updated into a new model, which would be this, and you just fit the new model. But I need to speak to DAF first before we do anything.
Hi, mate.
Hiya, buddy. You know that CCV filter? Is that a superseded part, that, mate? It is, yeah. It's like half the size of the one I'm removing. Right, I just wanted to double check, mate, because I didn't want to fit it half the size, that was all.
Hi, mate.
Lovely. Cheers, bud.
Bye.
Bye-bye. He always seems like he's in a bit of a mood, he is. So, yeah, it's been superseded. Get a little, just push out my torch in here a second. But you can see there's quite a lot of oil residue all in here, all up the sides. So it's obviously it'll be full and it won't be doing its job properly. Yeah, so it's been superseded, as we can see. Looks completely different. I mean, the bottom looks similar, but it's like almost half the size. Right, anyway, let's get this O-ring. In fact, before I fit a new filter in this, I want to give it a clean out because it's filthy. and there's just oil all over it. So we'll take this, take that O-ring out, and we'll get some brake cleaner. So really simple, just going to go around it all, spray a load of brake cleaner on it, try and get all the residue out of it. Make sure I'm not getting anything on the new filter. Last thing you want to be doing is sticking a brand new filter in something that's filthy, do you? See, brake cleaner's good because it's really fast drying as well. So this will be dry in no time. Just giving it right good wipe out inside. Yeah, so as I explained when we were last here, your crankcase ventilator is basically just to catch the oil from the gases in your block, basically in your engine block. So what happens is you small amounts of gas seep past your piston rings, seeps past anything that's got a seal in between sort of air and oil. There'll just be a small amount of seepage. So what happens is, over time, if you didn't have an engine breather pipe, over time, those small amounts of gases getting past stuff like your piston rings, your compressor rings, all those kind of things, they all build up inside the engine block over time, and if you leave them and you don't do what about it, obviously it'll cause some serious issues when the pressure builds up too much. So I'm just removing the little O-ring from the cap. Just sits around that little rim there. Before we put any new seals or rings on, or O-rings should I say, we're just going to give them a little dab of grease. Now all I'm going to do is just spray a bit on my finger like that and just go around it, making sure it doesn't need absolutely loads, it just don't want to be dry basically. So we can fit that back. Lovely. So that's sat nicely. I'm just giving this cap a quick wipe because it's not carrying loads of oil. It's all you got to do, just make sure that it's not dry. Easy. Easy peasy. And of course that's ribbed as well. I don't know if you can see that seal then, it's got slight ribs on it. And it's got slight little raised bits all the way around, and that just sits in there and it's holding it in place nicely, which is good. Yeah, that is good. Right, cool. So now, yeah, we're all dry. Yeah, everything's, all the brake cleaner's dried off now. So we can chuck our new filter in. So, like that. Goes that way around. Ah, there we go. It wasn't quite sat properly. There we go. So all the holes are lined up. I'm just going to give it a little tap. There we go. Just with my hand, just to pull it a bit closer. So I want the O-ring to sit flush. See, I don't want to put one bolt in, do it in all the way, and it kink the O-ring or something. So right, get these bolts back in, just do them by hand first. Right, then what we're going to do is we're going to do 1, 1, 1, 1. We're going to go around opposite so it sits flush. I'm not going to tighten them mega tight. Go around around them again. Right, that's not tight, that. Well, it is tight, but it's not mega tight in that. So we've replaced the spinner filter. We've replaced the 2 seals, the square one and the O-ring on top. So this is ready to go back in now. Here we are then. In fact, before I do fit this, I'm just going to give it a wipe off around the bottom down here. So I'm going to have to get it in from the bottom again. There we go. Halfway. Tell you what, I'm getting warm now. The sun's coming out. Right, we're pretty much in position where we want to be. Right, I won't tighten it up, I'm just getting it in there. In fact, I'm going to go get another glove because that's ridiculous. Yeah, so I'm literally just getting all the bolts started first, get them all in position where it wants to sit. If you start tightening stuff up before you've got everything in, you might get stuck and have to start removing stuff again. Yeah, a lot of this job is a lot of feeling and sensing. Obviously, I can't see anything under there. I'm having to just feel it and do it by hand. Right, so I'm tightening all these bottom ones up now. Right, I'm tightening these top ones all the way. I'm going to just tape this up a bit. I've just repaired that. I'm going to report it, but it's just so that they can keep using it, because that ain't going to stop them from using their truck, in all honesty. But if it was leaking oil, obviously that would stop them. Right, that needs cable tying back. So bottom pipes are on, seals are on, filter's changed, that plug's on, that plug's on, they're on. I think we're done. Obviously I'll just get a cable tie for that. I'm going to get some brake cleaner and give everything a right good clean underneath as well. Oh, I'm sweating now. Getting bloody warm. They're not playing ball, them. Oh, I just snapped the end of my socket. God, that wasn't even going that tight either. Look, it's just snapped the end of my T30. Great. Yeah. God damn it. Right, let's go. Right, in fact, before I start it, I need to clean it underneath. Let's go give it a clean. Right, so as you can see, we're underneath the truck now. All the oil residue, all coming from the engine breather pipe, all down, all underneath this truck, all around the rear as well. So what I want to do is just give sort of the immediate area a good cleaning. See, I don't want to be leaving loads of oil residue under here, because obviously we've replaced something due to oil leaking. So the last thing I want to do is replace that filter, leave loads of residue under here, and then it start dropping on the floor again, and the driver think that it's leaking oil again when it's not. Oh well, it might not be. Right, let's check the oil level. We're a bit low. Perfect. So I'm gonna go start it and have a good look, see if there's any oil leaks at all. Gonna leave it running for 5-10 minutes. Light the job card up. So I was just checking for oil leaks. I was also just checking the engine breather, making sure that there's not loads of air getting down it, or not too much air anyway. And just checking that it's got no oil. Right, I'm going to turn it off. So this oil leak one in Barnsley is done. Obviously we had oil coming out of the breather pipe, not super excessively, but obviously over time, when it's been driving down the road and the wind's been blowing, it's been blowing all the oil down underneath the engine, underneath the gearbox. All the second axle was caked in it. So you can imagine, over time, it's made it look like a serious oil leak, when really it'll just been coming out bits over time.